Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Breon at Cabo Club. Man, got a big dog here with me, Big Devyn. You know, Devyn, go ahead and let them know who you are, brother.
Hey, my name is Devyn Phillip. I'm a rising senior here at Hightower. I'll be graduating with class of 26. I am an early grad. I will be out of here in December. I haven't decided on what college I'm going to, but I do have 14 offers right now.
Oh, yeah. So, with that being said, man, we're going to jump into these questions so we can get a little bit, a little bit more knowledge about Devyn. Devyn, when did you first fall in love with football and what sparked that passion?
So I was running around at a park, when I was about 4 years old. Me and my other brother, we were both small at the time. And my oldest brother was hooping at the court. And our Little League coach had came up to my older brother asking, if we wanted to play for the team. My older brother rushed home, asked my mom. She said, of course. And ever since then, when I first got on the field, it was just a love. I got to run around. I got to, play free. And ever since then, it was like I was locked in on the game. I had such a love for it. I've been playing for 13 consecutive years.
Already, man, 13 years, that's a long time, man. So, who or what influenced you the most growing up in your journey as an athlete?
So I say it's definitely my mom. Big competitive side of the family right there. They all did track, basketball, volleyball. She was definitely on me and my brother. She didn't raise no quitters. She wouldn't let us quit if we wanted to. We didn't want to quit, but if we wanted to, it wasn't gonna happen. And she really just pushed us. We couldn't just roll over and go out there and be sorry. We had to be dogs. So definitely my mom. Her competitive edge. Helping us be competitive athletes.
So in advance to all the college coaches, y'all need to thank that man's mama because man, you got a dog right here. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, what was the first moment you realized you had the potential to go far in this sport?
So I'll definitely say when I got my first offer, it was the middle of the season of my sophomore season. And I didn't even realize it, but I was balling. I had a lot of stats, and I had posted my film to Twitter. And Texas State came to the school. They offered me a scholarship, and from that moment, I was like, oh, well, I might be that guy. I was only a sophomore. I started getting offers. So, it was kind of like a wake-up call. Like, okay, Devyn, you could really do this.
Take it a little serious, man. So, going into that, we're going to jump into the mindset motivational question. So, what drives you every day to keep pushing on and off the field?
I'll definitely say my vision, my tunnel vision of success. That success drives me. Whether I want to get up or I don't want to get up, I have to get up. I feel like, it's definitely not all on me, but I feel like I got to put it all on me. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing that success, that money at the end of the road, being a future Hall of Famer at the end of the road, being in the NFL, at the end of the road, it drives me every day, get up and keep working.
I like that drive. I like that mindset. It's like it's tunnel vision, but each step of the tunnel got a goal that you're trying to achieve. So I like how you worded that. So jumping into the next one is, how do you mentally lock in before games or big moments?
So before games, I'll say I definitely visualize myself making plays. I'll see, okay, let's see, what rush moves are we doing today? We know we have a more aggressive tackle. He's going to punch more. So I know, okay, I'm going to have to work swipe on pass rush, or if he's aggressive on run, I know I'm going to have to really stick my feet and squat down and you know what I'm saying, fight that pressure. I know who I'm going against. So I got to really visualize myself and what I need to do for this game, because every tackle is different.
So it's you gotta see your steps. I feel that part. You are putting basically your next step into your future mindset of what's going on in the play. So when it does happen, you are already ready.
Exactly.
So you're training for the battle, mentally and physically. I love that, bro. So when things get tough, what keeps you going?
I keep a level head. When things get tough, you can't just roll over, what I'm saying, and just quit. So I try to keep a level head and try to think about what's next. I can't be stuck on what happened already. I got to be stuck on what's about to happen. What can I do to, help it get better? You know what I'm saying? If a play messes up, it gets tough. Okay, that already happened. We can't change that. We can coach it up when we get back to the sideline, but I got to worry about what's next, because the ball's still rolling, the clock's still rolling.
You gotta have a one-track mind and a forgetful mind. If something happens bad, let that thing go. You got more plays to go. So now we're gonna jump into talking more about your position. What Devyn's known for on the field. So, brother, what do you love most about playing defensive end or edge, whatever you want to call it?
So definitely everyone, of course, knows the pass rush. That money down. Getting to that quarterback on that 3rd and long. Definitely is like the best feeling ever, man. You know what I'm saying? The crowd goes crazy. Get to run off the field.
Yeah,
Definitely getting a sack on a 3rd and long is like the best part about my position.
I feel you. So, are you more when I see you, I'm going, huh? Or are you a more, huh? You tell me.
I think I'm a more of a, you know what I'm saying? I think I'm more of a, yeah.
Yes. There we go. There we go. So, how do you study and prepare to dominate at your position?
So when I study film, I try to host a group film position with just my position group, the D tackle and the DNs, and we'll look for like keys, on plays. Okay, this tackle looks like he leaning over. Oh, it's a run play. So every time he lean over heavy on that hand, it's a run play. Okay, this tackle looks like he's sitting back on his heels. That might be a pass or a pull. So we try to find bad habits that the O lineman has that we can use as keys to help us predict what plays about to happen.
I got you. I love the way that your coaches present that to y'all, because some coaches only present bad habits. Go there, run there, make a play. You get what I'm saying? They're not telling you anything or anything to press fans. Like, we had an interview before where we was talking to a guy, Isaiah. He was saying, he keeps an eye out on people's knuckles and their fingers. These are things that could go outlooked as a younger person coming into these positions that you would want to look at. So I like the fact that you brought that out. That's dope. You smart player, brother. So, it rolls into the next question. What separates you from other edge rushers in the country?
So I say every edge rusher that's pretty good is fast off the edge. It can run, it can rush. But I feel like it's probably my mind. Me being as smart as I am. It's not more of a read. It's a react. When you get there. You know what I'm saying? When I get down, sometimes I'll even look at the tackle's eyes. It'll let me know what's going on. I don't just get down. Okay, I'm looking at the ball. I'm ready to rush. I'm ready to go. Nah, I'm like, okay, this tackle's looking down the line of scrimmage. He's about to go down. This tackle's staring at the backer. He's about to go to the backer. Okay, he's looking at me. He's about to get me. Being able to think like that, right in those 2 seconds before the ball snaps, I feel like that sets me apart from the rest.
Indeed, bro. Indeed. So now we in the preparation. So walk us through a typical walk us through a typical training week for you, in season or off season. You pick one.
Okay, I'll go off season since it's fresh. So typical training week. We're up here in the football period, 7 a.m. That's report time. We'll lift. So if we lift in the period, I'll make sure to get the guys out after school so we can get field work. If we get field work in the period, I'll make sure to lift after school. So whatever those days are, I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna try to get both lifting and field work in. So we can get stronger, get bigger, and we can still fine tune our, we don't be stiff out there looking like running like, we get our fine tune pass rush skills out here and our fine tune run block skills out here.
So basically you saying, man, iron sharpens iron. So as a friend, you want to make sure your friends as well, that y'all both getting that work and y'all both training, so nobody's missing out on anything. It's no excuse on why I got it and you did.
Exactly.
See, that's a real friend. That's some boss moves. So how important is discipline to your game, and how do you keep your edge?
Discipline is important. This is football. You ain't disciplined, one small undisciplined move, pipe it down for a touchdown. So discipline is everything, man. When I was a freshman, it was taught into me, you cannot do what I don't coach you to do. You know what I'm saying? You can't do your own thing out there.
Right.
You have to stick to the game plan, stick to how I'm teaching you how to play blocks, or it's to mess us up. And that one play sophomore year where I did not do something, let's say I went inside, he went out. You know what I'm saying? It happens like that every time. So discipline is very important, when playing on a team like this. One small mistake equals a touchdown. You know what I'm saying?
And I say this every time, man. Coach Strong has a strong program. You don't play no games, man. From what I hear, discipline matters here, man.
Yeah, he gonna discipline us too. Make sure.
So shout out to Coach Strong, man. You raising some big dogs, man. So Now we get into the recruiting process of your journey. So, what has the recruiting journey been like for you?
It's been interesting. You know, definitely an interesting process. You know, I remember one of the first things was I forgot what day. It was like second week of June.
Yeah.
After my sophomore year, you know, I had a buzz going. I had got some offers. So at 12 a.m. I was up. You know, it was summertime. Like 13 random numbers hit my phone texting me, and it was all college coaches, and I had no idea what was going on. And then I looked on Twitter, and it was like I seen a whole bunch of posts from the day before at 12 a.m. 26s we hitting your phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. So definitely a lot of new people I meet, a lot of random numbers text me. I'm like, oh, who is this? And then it's a coach from this college, that college. It's been hot too, you know. Coaches hitting me, texting me, calling me, you know, asking me, hey, when you getting out to campus. You know, it's been an interesting process, you know, and it's been fun, you know what I'm saying, getting to go out to see these nice campuses and nice facilities.
I love it, man. I love that for you, bro. Just feeling that, man, makes me feel the excitement, man. I'm proud of you, bro. So with that hard work, it comes a lot of stuff that comes with it, you know. So not really asking you your colleges, but if you could build a college program to fit you, what do you look for in a college program, and how do you know when it feels right?
You know, definitely having that family is one. You know, if you don't fit in like a family at a college program, that, you know, it's not, your years in college is not going to be the best, you know. It's going to be, you know, you need to feel like you're at home, you know, whether that's with the teammates or with the coaches, you know, or with the campus. You know, you can't have a campus and you feel out of, you know, place, out of order. You know, everything has to feel like home. Your relationship with your teammates, you living in that city or whatever you are, and, you know, with your coaches. Another thing is, you know, definitely the school part about it. You know, I wouldn't want to walk away with a degree that's worthless. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure I have a plan B, plan C in my back pocket, you know, and, you know, because one day I'm not going to be a football player.
You said it.
And, you know, I need to be able to still make some money. So definitely the family and the school aspect, you know, those are like the really most important things to me.
Right.
So yeah, definitely when I'm looking at a school or building a school, those are like the definitely the top two, you know.
Hey, that's the best way you're gonna feel comfortable, you know. You know, being a old college athlete, like having family at school when your family is not there is a big part of what can make or break you in college. You know. So with that going on, what are some schools currently recruiting you? And we don't even have to think about the ones that you're considering. What's some schools, you know, that's really like being like, yo, Devyn, hey bro, what's up?
Texas State, you know, they show their face. I just recently, SFA, they really showed me they wanted me recently. New Mexico, I'm going on a visit, you know, I think in the next week here pretty soon. So that's going to be exciting. And I've been hitting other coaches trying to go on visits. You know what I'm saying? We're setting that up. UNLV, New Mexico. What else? This got crazy. I'm not gonna lie. North Texas. Baylor. Been trying to go on a visit to Baylor. You know, those are just off the top of my head.
Okay. So UNLV. Hey man, Donovan, I know you graduated from U of H, but man, you used to be a Rebel, my boy. So shout out to the Rebels, you know, shout out to them. But going into it now, you've got big time offers and big time game. Where does your confidence, you know, come from?
My confidence definitely comes from my play. You know what I'm saying? I know when I line up, you know, you're not going to beat me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I prepared for this all these years, lifting weights. You know, I line up, you're not going to beat me. You know, I don't really do much of the talking in game. Like, somebody be talking crap to me, I'm just staring at them like, okay, let's see what's going to happen on this next play. You know, I don't really do much talking. I know my play carries me. You know what I'm saying? So that's where my confidence comes from. My skills. You know, I'm confident in my skills.
That's what I like right there, man. So what would you say to people who still underestimate your game or just you as a person?
Just watch. You'll see. You know, like I said, I don't do much of the talking. You'll see. You know what I'm saying? In due time, you'll see. You're going to hear my name again. Might be sooner, might be later.
Hey, man, you Trinidad, right?
Trinidad and Tobago, yes, sir.
And what my boy Trinidad James say? Don't believe me? Just watch. So you catch my drift. So if you don't know him now, you gonna know him regardless. So you ain't got no choice but to tune into him. So what's your dream school or dream football environment and why?
Growing up, my dream school was LSU. It still really is. They have a really good mechanical engineering program or engineering program in general. And you know, I don't know why. I remember my dad took me to the school when I was like 6, 7.
Yeah,
I fell in love with it ever since. You know, I want to go to LSU. I want to go to LSU. That's my dream school, and I knew they have a really good engineering program, so I know my degree would be worth something there. And you know, they have talent. You know, they have guys go to the league, first rounders every year. So I know, you know, I have a future at LSU. You know, if I go there.
got you. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I love that too. So you're talking about engineering, and we're talking about schools. This is kind of off topic. So I seen you went to PV recently, and this has nothing to do with football. Now we're getting on the subject of school. You know, North Carolina A&T is one of the highest engineered schools as it gets to. So how you feel about that?
Like I said, you know, engineering is like every time I talk to a coach, first thing do you have any questions? How good is the engineering program? You know, that is my education is my most important. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really doing it for the NIL money or whatnot. It's that degree I'm looking for. And, you know, if NCAT throw some money here for a ride, then, you know what I'm saying, I'll be checking it out.
That's what I'm talking about. I just had to throw it out there, man. So, hey, A&T, the Mags, hey. So, is the NFL a dream or is this something you've already added to your to-do list?
It's definitely on my to-do list. You know, it started as a dream. And like I said, like you said earlier in the interview, you know, once I got that first offer, I was like, okay, you know, I think I really can do this, you know? So I know, you know, if I hit it hard enough, you know, if I really stay true to this game, then that I'm going to be in the NFL for sure.
That's what I'm talking about. I love that dedication, that drive, that confidence, that grit, that I love it, bro. I love it. So what message would you give to the younger athletes coming up trying to chase the same dream?
Definitely stay motivated. You know, you're not going to want to get up every morning. You're not going to want to get up to work out every day. You know, you're not going to want to do things that you have to do. You know what I'm saying? But stay in it. You know what I'm saying? It is essential that you're doing what everyone is not doing. It is very essential. If everyone's only working out 3 times a day, by the time you get to wherever, you're going to be on the same playing field. You got to rise up above everyone else. Everyone working out 3 times a week, you work out 4 or 5 times a week. You know what I'm saying? Be different from all your teammates. Only working out this many times, work out 1 more. You know what I'm saying? Try to bring them guys with you because y'all are a team. You know what I'm saying? You're only strong as your weakest link. So definitely be different from everyone else. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to be a high level athlete, you got to have a high level profile. You know what I'm saying? That means not wearing crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got to carry yourself with that higher standard. You know, you can't be like everyone else. You want to be a big time athlete. You know, for example, LeBron. I haven't heard too much about LeBron being in trouble. You know, it's like that. You got to have a high profile if you want to be a high athlete. So rise up above everyone else because everyone else is not an athlete. You know, we are held at a way different standard than everyone else. So that means going above and beyond what is required. You understand?
So that's what it takes to be an elite 1%er. You know, and that's what their program's all about here at Hightower, is being an elite 1%er. So, I mean, he's speaking his message and he's practicing what he's preaching. So following into that last question that I have here, and this is for everybody, bro. What does the word champion mean to you?
To me, the word champion isn't even really the winner. You know what I'm saying? The word champion is like the person that fought the hardest. You know what I'm saying? If you fought the hardest and got what you came for and you got what you achieved, to me, you're a champion. You know what I'm saying? Even if you didn't win a championship or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? You got what you came for, or you know what I'm saying? Or you went farther than you realized. You know, you fought harder than everyone else. In my eyes, you're a champion. You know what I'm saying? You went through things other people didn't go through. You went through some hurt that other people didn't go through, and you still came out pretty high. You know what I'm saying? You're a champion in my books. You know, it's not always the winner, you know?
So, hey, I love it. I love it. I love it. Got my boy Devyn once again here, man. Like I said, y'all tune in. Check my boy out. I'm gonna let him walk himself down the red carpet because that's what bosses do, man. So, Dev, thank you for having, coming on to the show.
Man.
And you just let them boys know about you, brother.
Hey, man, you can follow me on Twitter, I_am_Devyn. And you follow me on Instagram, the same tag. My recruiting process and my everything will be there. Rest of my life, I'll be posting updates there. So if you really want to follow me, I'll be there on Twitter. You can follow my direct progress. Thank y'all.
Yes, sir.